I greet you guys, welcome you to another video. So if you're new, kindly subscribe, like, share and comment. We've been waiting for this interview by Prophet Bushiri yesterday, and lo and behold, the interview was out, and Prophet Shepherd Bushiri, Major One, explained himself, narrated what happened and all the court evidence and what the court said. So let's get into this video and let's listen to this interview.
Well, in 2020, November, Prophet Shepherd Bushiri and his wife, Mary Bushiri, fled South Africa and what was believed to be what he called threats on his life. In fact, he was facing a string of charges, including fraud, money laundering, and of course, rape charges as well. 5 years later, I get to speak to him exclusively here in Lilongwe in Malawi, just to get a sense as to where he's going and what's his reaction following the recent judgment on the extradition process to have him face the charges back in South Africa. Prophet, thank you very much for joining us here on ENCA in Lilongwe in Malawi. How are you?
No, I'm doing well, and thank you so much for this moment.
Okay, so you led a mega big church in South Africa, followed by a lot, but you were in a legal tussle yourself and your wife, Mary. Do you not think that the absolute right thing now would be to come back to South Africa and see how you face the charges?
Yeah, of course, it's the wish of every person to actually have their names cleared. It's quite more important, but there must be also the underlying principles and basic things to be understood. In the first place, why we left South Africa to come over here. As you have rightly said, we actually had a big ministry in South Africa and also big business empire that we actually built in South Africa. And so basically, there could be what triggered for us to leave the nation. So it's a wish of every person to have their names cleared. So would actually, at some point in time, wouldn't mind to actually come, even if it's tomorrow or another day, to say come, we would come. But the issue is we have raised issues again and again that are not being considered or they're not being handled by the authorities in the country. As you're aware, we came to Malawi as a sign to say that we want to preserve our lives because our lives went on serious threat. So we came here and we continued seeking the justice. We still went to courts. We never absconded in a court. We were in the court all the times because our issue was not to run away from the justice, but we are looking for fairness and as well as protection to life, which are fundamental human rights that must be preserved and followed.
Obviously, we'll get into the issue of the threats as we proceed with the interview, but I want to get to how do you then answer to the charges against you and your wife? I mean, there's rape, there's fraud, there's money laundering. How do you answer to those charges?
How do
you answer to the charges?
How do we answer the charges?
Yeah, that have been brought against you.
Okay, maybe we have just to give a small background.
Yeah, I think let's do that, yeah.
So as you're aware that when I was in South Africa, before I was arrested, I began bringing up these issues to say that there are people who are saying, if I don't give them money, I'm going to be arrested. And this is not something that is a fiction. It's something that is actually factual. It can be proved, and I have said it before your authorities in South Africa, before the media. Dating fast, 2016, 2017, 2018, I began bringing these issues and allegations where we had some authorities who said, if you don't give us money, we're going to paint you black and we're going to arrest you. And they were demanding about 12 million, and unfortunately they were going to some of my members and say, if you don't give us money, we're going to arrest you on Fundisi. And some of my members, they were giving them those amounts of money. And I would be hearing to say, we've given money, they're saying they will arrest you if we don't do this. And they were also approaching me directly. A thing I didn't take lightly. I went to your then chief of police,
okay,
who was that time Sitole, General Sitole.
Okay, yes.
I reported the matter to him way before I even got arrested.
And what did he say?
Nothing happened.
When was this?
Must be 2017.
Yeah,
2017. Nothing happened. It's factual, and luckily I'm going to come back into that because he eventually made an affidavit
The former commissioner,
agreeing what I'm saying.
Yes.
You know, we have his affidavit. Even in the courts here in Malawi, we have his affidavit.
Okay.
So what he did, he tried his best by telling us to, number one, involve the director of intelligence.
Okay.
So he called the Minister of Intelligence. By that time, it was Minister Bongo. So we went to Minister Bongo as a reference from him. So when we met the minister called Fraser, who was the director, Arthur
yes,
Fraser,
yes.
who was the director of intelligence at that particular time. I had a meeting with Fraser, I had a meeting with the minister, and I explained to them, I said, if I have a case, I want to know, and I'm submitting myself, I want to just know there is a case against you and I should get arrested, rather than being told to say I should pay money, or if I don't pay the money, I'm going to, to be in trouble. So they told me, and they said, oh, wow, from what we are seeing, we're not seeing any problem against you. This could be just extortion. So, but nothing happened. Nobody was arrested. And these people continued pestering me to an extent where they even came at my church with the helicopter, police helicopter.
Okay. Before we get into that, who are these people who are extorting you? And just take us through this. When you say they came at your church with a helicopter and a chopper, yeah, you can just tell us who are these people.
All right, so these people, it began with a little boy. His name was called Charles Ferrai. He's from Zimbabwe. So this boy began to write articles against us. We even went to court. He said Bushiri rapes, he's a rapist, he's this, and we didn't know where it was coming from. He's a rapist, he's this, he's this. We didn't know that it was actually a plan because the boy was in our church before. So we didn't know it was a plan for him to use that and then recruit people and then to say that these people were being raped by Prophet Bush. We didn't know. So we went to court. I went to court myself to say I want him to prove before the court his claims against me, which they eventually couldn't prove all those type of things. So the High Court in South Africa stopped the boy from writing further. Eventually, I got a call from one of my lawyers to say, you in the newspaper of today that one woman has withdrawn the rape case against you. Rape case? I have no idea about rape case. So we went to meet a lawyer in South Africa, but this lawyer, he eventually said he's going to involve up a group of people who will do investigate what's going on. So they made an investigation to find out, to say, where is it coming from? So that lady eventually revealed to say that she was promised money, that if she's given money, she's going to, if she says about us that she was raped, she'll be given money. So she didn't want to do that. And eventually she went to withdraw the case. That's how it started. Then she also revealed a group of other girls who she said they were also paid money, and they were told that if they will open cases against us, they will also eventually be paid a lot of money. And these girls in their withdrawal, they were mentioning the very same police officers, okay, which were coming to me. And these police officers by that time, there was Rebbe, she's from Hawks.
So again, you're saying it was who? From the Hawks.
Yeah, Mrebi.
Yeah.
Pumla.
She's from the Hawks.
Pumla Mrebi.
Yeah, okay.
There was Maritz. There was Mare. There was another guy who he was saying he's from police, but we found out that he was not from police. He was called Jeno Ngobeni, but he was actually not from the police, but he was just a syndicate. I'm working with these people.
Yeah.
So this was the first group of the people we are dealing with, okay? So you find out that those girls who were withdrawing the cases, in the affidavits, because they went to police, withdrew their cases, stamped by the police officer. These are in your records in your country. If you read, you find they're mentioning the very same people I had reported to those authorities, Ngobeni, Minister Bongo, and also Fraser, and also the Sitore.
Yes.
I had reported the very same names, General Sitore, as a way of assisting me. He referred me to report the matter to the minister, who was Mr. Bongo at that time. And Mr. Bongo, as well as to help me, referred the issue to the director of intelligence, who who I also reported the issue to them. Okay, so I said, okay, I want to know if I've got a case.
Yeah.
But I don't want to be told that if you want to avoid an arrest, pay us money. You see, so I want to know if I have got a case with you or not. Now, immediately I reported that matter to them. I don't know how they knew about it, or I don't know what happened, but then the threats escalated extremely, where they said, we will not lose our jobs for you. And that's the moment I began to survive assassination attempts. The first that happened at Sheraton Hotel in Pretoria, where my car exploded at the hotel. You know, I was in the car driving with my wife. We arrived at the hotel to have lunch. Immediately we came out, it exploded. Meaning to say, if we continued driving the car, we would have died along the road. And this issue is known. It's a fact. It's in the record in South Africa. We reported the matter. No investigation, no arrest, no nothing happened. When I saw that nothing is being done and we are not yet arrested, I came to Malawi here and informed my government. And this is before we even got arrested. I informed the president, Arthur Peter Mutharika, then, and now he's back in power. He's also a president now. So when I informed him, he said, your issue is human rights issue. Inform human rights organizations. I did. They protested at the embassy, South African embassy here, where they presented a petition to say, there's an extortion claim to our citizen. Can you look into this matter? Your government here, the embassy, advised them to write the South African Human Rights Commission, which the civil society here in Malawi wrote your South African Human Rights Commission. And these are facts. They're not just things I'm explaining. Your Human Rights Commission in South Africa, they have these. We also have these on emails. We've got all the exchanging communication. This is in 2018, before I was even arrested. Yep. The Human Rights Commission in South Africa wrote the Hawks to say, there is this issue that is happening in your country, you know, and nothing happened. The Hawks, eventually, I think there's the president of the Hawks or something like that, called for a meeting where I went to that meeting with my lawyer, Mr. Baloyi. In that meeting, we presented ourselves to say, if we have got any case, we want to know if we have got any case than what is happening. But guess what? They were never arrested, and nothing happened. And the more we were exposing them, the more our lives were now in danger. So to show that I am really tired of this issue, because I didn't want to be like running away from the law. So in 2018, I went again to, they call it, it's another department in South Africa, Inspectorate General, something like that. We have the whole meeting, the recordings we recorded, they gave us the whole transcript of the whole meeting. We explained everything to them. They are the ones who advised me to go and open a case with IPID. I think you know IPID. Yes. Which is a department of police. So we went to IPID and opened a case against these people. And this is as early as 2018, all right? When IPID was setting up a trap to arrest them, IPID told me to say, tell them to come and get the money tomorrow. They were supposed to apply from the NPA to say that they'll be making an arrest, and they should do, I think there is something they normally do where they get some money and they give you to say, tell them to come and get the money. When they're coming, then they make arrests. So they were supposed to do something like that, where they'll be like, okay, we're going to be like, we've given you money, and we will tell you to call them to come and get the money. When they'll be coming to get the money, we are going to arrest them. So the following day, where this application was being done, that's the day the same police officers that we were supposed to arrest, they came early in the morning to arrest me and my wife. So basically, this is what happened. And I think I'll just try to explain what happened. Okay. So this is now 2019. Yeah. Their cases were opened in 2018.
I just want us to hold it there. I want us to go for an ad break, and we'll be back. When we come back, we're going to tackle more of these cases, the rape cases and the charges that have been brought against you, and we'll go more into that. That's Prophet Bushiri, who's in conversation with ENCA here exclusively in Lilongwe, Malawi. Back, we are now with Prophet Shepherd Bushiri speaking to us exclusively in Lilongwe, Malawi. Thank you very much once again for chatting to us after 5 years, Prophet. Many have been asking as to how did you leave South Africa? There's been a lot of allegations that you perhaps would have fled, and through the connection of the delegation that was in the country from Malawi, or you were smuggled out. It's a question that many still want answers to, especially the authorities in South Africa.
Yeah, I think going back to what I was explaining to you, that we faced a lot of challenges in your country, South Africa, more especially we as my wife and I, and as I did mention to say that the system in your country, in South Africa, is corrupt. And the very same people who were trying to steal money from us, are the very same people who, some of them would actually come and tell us to say, now they're planning to do this. And the 2 days before we left your country, there was a plan to actually kill us.
Okay.
If you remember, a month before we left South Africa, we survived an assassination attempt in Santon, which even the footage was there from the garage. We opened the case, no one was arrested, no police, no investigation was being done, and no nothing. So we left your South Africa, as I did mention, the main issue was for our safety.
Sure.
All right, and when you're coming back to the question to say how we left, we have always remained quiet, that we're not going to explain for that now. I do believe it will come out, in the book that I'm writing, and I think it's exclusively left for that for me to explain what happened. But I want you to know this, that the very same system that was trying to kill us, amongst their own system, they betrayed one another. Another system came and helped us to live.
I hear you saying you're probably reserving it from your book, but just a bit of clarity as to how did you fly? Did you use a car? When? Who helped you? I mean, at least a bit of clarity around that, because I'm going back and I need to go back with answers as to.
Yeah,
this is,
with due respect, sir, I would tell you that for me, as I did mention, I just actually answered you just a few minutes ago, that the same system, the same corrupt system, that was coming to us to say, if you don't do this, we'll do this. They betrayed one another. It's the same system that, came and told us of the plan, the next plan, which was to kill us. All right. And the same system helped us to come here. And of how, I don't think for now it's necessary.
But that's not an answer. You would want to fix the same system you're saying is broken by giving us an answer. And ensuring that there's accountability.
I would really be humbled if that system was fixed. If I heard that one of those people were arrested, because I've given you the names of what we went through, the cases we opened, nobody was arrested. So, for example, for me, I wouldn't be discussing about your system. Well, I actually have no trust at all with your system.
What's concerning is using the same alleged corrupt system to advantage.
Yeah, it's something that I'm reserving, because there are so many things that I want to actually expose what happened with evidences in that book. It's coming out soon.
Your actions made a mockery of South Africa's criminal justice system. Hence why we're here today to try and establish, how did you leave Malawi? It's a very simple question. Did you fly? Did you drive? How did it happen?
I really don't think that answer is going to come to you at this stage, as I did mention to you. That if this interview was allowed, I actually told myself I want to answer any interview until the court, until the High Court ruling. Because I knew that it would be vindicated, and the ruling from the High Court will expose the whole system in South Africa. And I think you heard from the ruling that came from the High Court, how they exposed what was happening in South Africa, how our lives were endangered, all those things that happened. The ruling in the High Court, even the Magistrate Court, they all agree with what we said. And that's the most important thing.
I think the ruling touches more on the fact that the investigators need to provide more substantive evidence. which does not totally disregard what has been brought up. For example, the rape case numbers, right? Sunnyside case 37306-2018, Pretoria Central case 17208-2020. These are victims who are still saying that they were allegedly raped by you. Are you denying that this didn't happen? I just want to get on record to say you're saying this didn't happen.
I'm going just to explain something that is going to tell you and even our viewers.
Thank you.
They will make up a decision.
All right.
There is no way, okay, 27 people open cases to one police officer, and these people from different provinces, okay, Cape Town, Mpumalanga. There's police in.
But these are two different police stations with two different officers looking into this.
On paper, okay, on paper, all cases falls under one investigative police officer, which is Pumla, okay, Murebi. And this is the same woman I opened the cases against before I was arrested, number one. Number two, if the case was opened in 2018 about rape, I was in your country. They arrested me in 2019 on other cases. I was never arrested for rape. I only came here in Malawi. That's when they brought up those charges. What does that tell you? What were they waiting for to arrest me? I was in your country. In 2018, they never arrested me. In 2019, they never arrested me. In 2020, they never arrested me.
So how do you speak to the allegations that you also enjoyed a very close relationship with the former Hawks head, Godfrey Libya? Do you know the gentleman?
Of course, several times, as I told you before earlier, to say that some of the police officers, including the generals in the army, were part of the syndicate to extort money from us. And the name just mentioned right now, he was the head of Hawks, I think at that time, right?
Yes, he's the former head of Hawks now.
He's the former head of Hawks. Several times, my people, I'm just telling you these things which are facts, okay? And one of the people actually who work with me, and he's actually in this room now, several times was called to his farm.
Where's the farm?
To his farm. And I think I may have forgotten, but the guy is actually with us in the studio here.
All right, okay.
He knows where the farm is. All right, so several times he went to his farm, and there he was told to say, okay, we're going to help, we're going to assist, you know, and I have always refused that. And this is what I want to tell you, to say, if I had paid those police officers, there will be no all these cases today. There was no all these things we are selling today and all these cases. This was a thing which was made to get money from us. We're not running out from accountability. Listen, we're not running out from accountability. Court is court, okay? However, if justice has to be served, it has to be served fairly.
Let's dissect the issue before we get into that. You were called to a farm. I just want to know who called you to the farm and how much were they trying to extort from you? Because that's perhaps one of your main arguments, to say there are generals who are trying to extort money from you. And we need to get to the bottom of this to find out who are these generals who are trying to extort money from you.
All right, so let me say this. It's so complicated because wherever we are going to look for assistance, instead of helping, they also needed some money to help.
Okay.
And this is where the whole chain comes in. So there was a certain gentleman who is also, I think, a general in the Hawks. His name is Paul, something like that. I've forgotten his surname. And this is the man who said he can take the matter to the head of the Hawks so that he can help us.
Which head of the Hawks? I just want to know.
Libya.
Godfrey Libya.
Yeah. Godfrey
He's now
Libya.
former head of the Hawks. Okay.
Yeah.
So this gentleman said to you he can take the matter to Libya.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he said he can take the matter to Libya. So, okay. Because we're looking for assistance, maybe they'll be arrested, or maybe these guys who we have opened the cases against, maybe they'll be arrested. You see, or if there's any investigation against us, because what we are saying wasn't to say that there shouldn't be investigations against us. We were saying if there are investigations against us, these people, may they excuse themselves from these cases? Because you can't be investigating me or you want money from me and have opened the case against you, and the cases are with you. There are many police officers in South Africa, so we wanted them to. So when we heard that this man would take the issue to the head of the Hawks, we thought, okay, wow, we have got a solution to be done. So this poor guy, he went to one of my bodyguards and they say, okay, he says you can meet him at the farm. and then they went together at a farm to meet him. All right.
Okay.
After the meeting, Mr. Paul said, "Okay." He says, "For you, for your boss to be free, if you can arrange something that can be given to him."
How much?
I think it was about 2 million, 3 million, something like that.
So this gentleman who was sent, or who was instructed by Libya, spoke to your bodyguard on a farm and said to help you.
Actually met General Libya, not once.
You met him?
No, not me.
Your bodyguard?
Yeah, as I said that he's actually in this room. He met him several times, not once.
And there was
at the farm, the other time at his house.
Yeah.
So these are the things which are facts, and these meetings happened. And when I was hearing to say, you see, I'm trying to get a help, the only ones who never wanted money from us, to be to be truthful, it's Fraser. He never asked money from us. The head of the former minister, Bongo, he never asked money from us. The general of police, Sitole, he never asked any money from us. But the people I'm mentioning, these are the people who wanted the money. Even the head of they call him the president of the Hawks, who called for a meeting with my lawyer. He never asked anything to do with the money from us. But I'm telling you, people who were asking for money. So Mr. Paul, who went with my bodyguard, when they had a meeting with the head of the Hawks at that time, he was told to say, he's saying that if he has to handle these issues and take them out, arrange some money. You see, so these are the things which we never wanted to find ourselves in, all right? And the more these issues were going to the authorities, the more we are surviving assassination plots, being shot several times.
Prophet, I'll be back with you in a moment. I just wanted you to hold it there. We will get into that and try to get clarity as well on that story you're telling us right now. That's, of course, Prophet Bushiri, still in conversation with us in Lilongwe, Malawi, just regarding his stay in South Africa, the challenges incurred, and of course, some of those issues he's been highlighting. Welcome back. We're still in an exclusive conversation with Prophet Shepherd Bushiri here in Lilongwe, Malawi. So Prophet, before we went for an ad break, you were telling us about some of the generals within the Hawks who were harassing and intimidating you and your wife, or let me just say your family. There were attempts on your life as well. But again, you spoke about a gentleman called Paul. Can you recall what's his surname, just his role, and of course other generals were implicated as well?
Yeah, so this man, we may not know his position now, but at that time he said he was the spokesperson for the Hawks, Paul Ramaroko.
Okay.
All right, so this man basically, he was all of us. You know, he was all of us. All these cases can end because he was apparently working with the Brigadier Kadwa. This also Brigadier Kadwa, you know, he kind of like took a lot of money from my members. Remember, I don't have to give money, you know, right, in South Africa. I have got so many members, and some of them are worthy, you know, and when they are approached by these people to say, your prophet will be arrested, do something, and these people will take the money and give. And this is where I didn't like it.
How much do you have an estimate of the value?
On the Brigadier Kadwa that I know, that actually people said they gave him money. So it's almost 4 million, 5 million was given.
Within the space of how long? Was it a year?
No, that one was within a year.
Yeah.
All right. And
which year?
That was 2018.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
So 2018, 2019, more especially 2019. All right. So Brigadier Kadwa, I never met him. All right. But my bodyguard went to his house and they met him. He was called by Paul Ramaroko. So Paul Ramaroko he was like the one who was bridging, you know, calling my bodyguard, let's go to Kadwa, you know, let's go to Godfrey Libya, you know. So this was Paul's duty was to do that, all right. So much as I've explained it to you, right, to say that we tried for us, you know, to say if there is any case against us, we want to answer, and we are waiting for that. Trust you me, even now, we are willing to answer. You know?
Just before you lose your train of thought again, you recently spoke about General Sibiya following the extradition judgment, which was of course handed by a court in Malawi. What were you referencing to when you mentioned his name?
Wow. So on General Sibiya, I should be honest with you, right? I heard from some of my members to say we were approached by General Sibiya. With General Sibiya, we never had any direct engagement or anyone to come from General Sibia and to say, oh, wow, General Sibia is looking for money, right? No. But on these other generals, yes. On Sibia, is, as I said, on that day when I was making a statement, some of our members were approached, and I think
as well by
I use that word. I said some of our members were approached, and that's what they told us to say. We were approached by Sibia to say he can help if he's given money, but with us directly, we never had any direct, conversation or any claim from Sibia. That or not, it never happened with us.
So who are these members?
In my presentation that day, I mentioned of our members. Well, these other people mentioning now, like Kadwa, these were direct engagements where they were actually saying, if you give us this money, we'll do this. You talk about more especially Pumula, all right? If you look at all the withdrawing statements of all those rape victims, which you just mentioned now, those rape victims, when they were withdrawing those statements, they all mention Pumula, and they all say that we were told that if we open a case against Major One, Prophet Bushiri, and if he's arrested, she's going to pay us. So she was using those cases to intimidate me so that I give her the money, because if they were genuine, she would have made an arrest.
So let's come back again to the top brass, and I'll tell you why I want to focus on this, but as we proceed, who are these members who are telling you that the generals are sending people to extort money from them in order to rescue you?
Well, I have so many members in my church. I can't recall who and who, but I only know one gentleman who he actually gave money, and I wouldn't be comfortable to
obviously, you can't say don't say his name.
But I know one man who he said that he was approached by Sibia, and he even said that, we've been giving money.
Is this man, is he a businessman?
He's a business person.
Okay.
All right. So as I'm saying to you, to say that this is the only incident as we refer to Sibia. General Ribia, I never mentioned him in my statement at that time, because when I was opening the case, that was 2018. They are being mentioned because they were the ones who were saying they can end the cases. Remember, these were the one I've been talking about, Murebi and other people, Mare. These were those who arrested me. Okay, they're the ones, before they arrested me, they needed money. So I opened the cases against them, and they were never arrested. When I was arrested by the very same corrupt police officer, when I was now arrested, that's when the Kadwas are coming in now. All right, so I think that's why you never heard much me talking about the Kadwa, because these were coming in later days before I left South Africa.
Yep. Prof, don't you find that problematic that you didn't raise the alarm on the top brass? Because these are people who yield influence and power to execute these arrests. Why didn't you open a case against them, your Libias and Kadwas?
Okay, I will tell you something. Okay, and this is very important. This has to be a precedence proposal that has to be done in your country. All right, I have come to you to say I need assistance. This person is trying to beat me, okay? And you also beat me up. Then I go to another person who's older than you. I report to say this one wants to beat him, and he also wants to beat me. What do you do?
Yeah, but you see, what you're then doing is you're defeating the culture of enabling. You open a case and you build your case as well against these top brass to ensure that you fight this corruption, which you're alleging is systematic.
Let me tell you the best thing I did.
These police.
Let me tell you the best thing I did.
Yeah.
The best thing I did was to leave the country. That's the best thing I had to do.
In an unlawful way.
Yeah, but
do you agree that you left the country in an unlawful way?
Yeah, that's actually.
You violated your bail condition.
You're allowed. There's an international law where you're allowed. Okay, if you are a refugee running from war, you're allowed to leave the country unlawful.
So you're now regarding yourself as a refugee who was running from war. But there was no war in South Africa.
No, that's war. When someone wants to kill you, it's war. That's war, exactly. That's a war against injustice. Before the second arrest, there was a first arrest, okay, which they arrested me over the plane, and which plane I bought with a fellow South African who was a director when I was having that company. And if an arrest was supposed to be done, it was supposed to be done by the police. They were supposed to arrest me and that director. Okay, and not my wife, because she was not part of the company. But what happened? Those guys didn't arrest the South African. They arrested me and my wife, who had nothing to do with that.
Prophet, I hear you, and I hear your grievances. And I don't condone any corruption. If there are generals or police officials or senior police officials who must be held to account, that must happen in the form of the commission we have currently that's investigating infiltration of our criminal justice system in South Africa. But I'm worried that there are, issues that you're confronted with, issues of money laundering, the issues of the Ponzi scheme that are taking place in your church as well, where some of your followers say that they invested money in a businessman in your church and they didn't get the money back. These are some of the issues that you're confronted with.
So the issue that happened is this, sir. We had two men that came in our church,
okay,
and these people said they would help people who want to do investments. As a business person, I accepted and allowed these people to say, okay, anyway, if anyone else who would like to do an investment with these people, they would, all right? And these people, they did business with these people, they invested for them, and they made profits. And they were all giving back their money, all right? That I know. From that moment, when these people made money, I think it became exciting. They began inviting their friends to say, we can also invest with these people. And that's where the whole problem happened. Now, when they put money, remember, the first group, they had their profits, they were giving back their money. The second group, they had their profits, they were giving back their money, not me, by these two people. And this is a fact, all right? When now they began to bring in their friends to these people ran away with people's money, okay? It wasn't like how you're calling it like a scheme, no. These people ran away with investors' money.
But how did this happen in your church under your watch?
I'm explaining that.
Is there no systems to protect your followers?
I'm about to tell you that. When they ran away with their money, what I did, I took my own money, okay, over 60 million from my own pocket. I paid those victims, all right? And I said, if there is any other victim who hasn't been paid, he should come forth. And this is information which your government knows. It's plain, it's evident. I then opened the cases against those two guys to say if I arrest them, I will claim my money from them. The victims should be paid. And we were in that moment when they were arresting us. They were arresting us when we were in the system of helping the victims.
What about the other victims who say they still haven't gotten paid?
No, that's maybe it's true. It would happen because we don't know. But at that stage, all the victims which had come out to say, even me, I invested. Even me, I invested. I took my money, and I was actually willing to assist those victims. We even set up lawyers to say anyone else who has a claim should go to these lawyers, and we will pay you via lawyers.
Is that process still ongoing?
No, we had to stop it because of the court case. Remember now, it's like now there's a court case.
Yeah.
So we can't do anything. But that was what I was waiting. So I paid almost 60 million from my own pocket.
Okay.
Now, after that, I opened the cases against those two guys. But what did those 4 police officers who I have issues with do? They arrest those 2 police officers and they arrest me and they put me as if I'm the one who was doing the scheme. KPMG, which is a reputable audit firm, government of South Africa, requested them to make an investigation whether any money of an investor came to my account or my wife's account. The KPMG report, even in the ruling in Malawi in the magistrate court, they also dismissed those cases against us to say, from the evidences so far, the Bushiris never benefited anything from these monies. If anything, they were the ones giving the money to the victims.
So, Prophet, when we come back from the break, I want us to speak about the South African government still very steadfast in pursuing you. In fact, in their statements, they say they have reaffirmed that the legal avenues to ensure that justice is ultimately served are still ongoing. And I want us to touch on this. This will be, and obviously in link to the recent extradition judgment that was handed down by a Malawian court.
Most welcome.
All right, of course, that's Prophet Shepard Bushiri still in conversation with us in Lilongwe, Malawi exclusively. Welcome back. I'm still joined by Prophet Shepard Bushiri in this exclusive interview here in Lilongwe, Malawi. Now, Prophet, just before we went for an ad break, we were speaking about the South African government still pursuing and ensuring that justice is served. And obviously, you would agree that in this ongoing pursued to try and have your accountant brought back to South Africa. This is an issue that's not going to die down anytime soon. How and where do you see this ending?
Well, I must say this, that there must be justice at the end of everything else. Remember, we have got two sides here of the story. Well, I was the first complainant on the serious allegations of corruption and extortion, which I never got my justice, and I don't even think I will. And secondly, there is the government pursuing this issue. And, we would want actually to have this issue settled. We gave an opportunity to your government, South African government, through our lawyers. We actually filed an application in the High Court here to say if they can outline measures of my safety in South Africa, then I can go. We want to have a right to life. Simple. If these issues can be addressed, then we are okay. Two, if these people can be excused, because...
Which two people?
If these people can be excused...
Do you mean the alleged corrupt generals and police officers?
Yeah, if they can be excused from our case, because I'm telling you, I'm sitting here and I'm being arrested by someone I know. I had a meeting with him last night where he was telling me to say, if you give me 12 million, I want to arrest you tomorrow.
And who was that?
The Marais, the Pumlas, the Marais. These are the captains which we complained about.
At the center of your issue, or the storm, is alleged corrupt cops. It's clear that you're saying you were targeted by cops. It's a witch hunt. They harassed you. They victimized you and your family. And South Africa is currently in the midst of a commission, the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry, that's investigating allegations of cartel infiltration, corruption, and of course other issues that are confronting our criminal justice system in South Africa. Do you think that your name might be mentioned there? And given the information you've given me right now about the Hawks, are you willing to go there and testify, or submit an affidavit to testify, to expose the top brass that you say is caught in this corruption and rot?
If opportunity be, trust me, we would present an affidavit on that. That's something that we've been praying for, that one time these corrupt police officers must be exposed. It has been our prayer, and what we are seeing happening in the country is an answered prayer, because this, at the end of the day, has to be exposed and has to be stopped. As I did mention before, we are not exempted, to any investigation. We're not. And this is why I went to your authorities in your country several times to submit myself. I said, I'm being told I've got charges against me. Can I be arrested? I was told there's no any case against you. All right? And that tells you that something real was going on. So these corrupt police officers, they should be arrested, and something has to happen. Otherwise, I think it's time to clear the rotten system so that people like us maybe can start trusting the justice system. Because where we are right now, I really don't trust the justice system.
Are you going to volunteer and submit an affidavit, or you will wait to be summoned or to be called?
No. If I'm asked to do so, I will do so.
Let's speak about the members of parliament in South Africa and some prominent politicians who've been visiting you and coming to your church as well. What business do they have with you? Why are they coming here? We've seen from the Deputy Minister of Social Development, Khanif Hendricks from Al Jamaa Party coming here, Floyd Shivambu from Now Party Maibuye coming here. What business do they have with you? Why are they coming here? Is it for spiritual purposes, or do they want money for you to fund their parties? Is it also extortion? What is it in relation to?
Firstly, let me express something to you to say that Prophet Bushiri, or known as on your TV, self-proclaimed prophet, right? When we talk about politics, right? I am a man of the people. I love people, and they love me. And these people, they don't look at me from the religion background. They look at me as a fellow African, and they look at me as a human being. All right? I might be a self-proclaimed to other people, and to other people, I am a brother, I am a cousin, I am an uncle, I am a human being. So, for example, Chivambo, when he came to Malawi here, all right, he didn't come here specifically for me. He had other business he was doing here. He was visiting, I think, the former president, Joyce Banda, and he had meetings with other politicians. Then he said, oh, let me go and attend a service on a Sunday. So basically that was it. So he came to attend the service and we prayed with him. And that's it. So his mother is one of my leaders in the church in South Africa.
Oh, Floyd Chivambo's mom?
Yeah.
In South Africa?
Yeah.
So you still have churches there?
His mom, you are aware about that. Our church actually grew times 5. Then when I was in South Africa, our church even grew bigger. Okay. So we have got churches all over in South Africa. Right. So their mother, Floyd, I don't know now, but she used to come to our church. So when he came here, I mean, it's a Sunday service. You would go to the church of your mother. So he simply had to go to look for a church of his mother. And he came to pray with us. And the other one you mentioned also earlier on, I think you know he's a Muslim.
Yeah.
I think you know he's a Muslim, right?
Hence why I'm asking, what was this in relation to? Why did he come to your church? What was the business or the nature of the visit?
Yeah, so him being a Muslim person, basically, it was just he visited me and he was actually trying to encourage me to find out what really happened, the whole story. We have heard you talking about corruption. We have heard you talking about the corrupt cops, what really happened. We want to also know your story.
So a member of parliament flew from South Africa to come see you, to inquire about the ongoing issues.
I might not know why he came to Malawi because he didn't come here specifically for me. All right, I might not know. But I was told there's a visitor at the office who wants to have a conversation with you. So I had a conversation with him and simply he wanted to find out. You asked me questions the way you're asking me. What happened? Mr. Bushiri, you're here in Malawi. What happened? So I answered him questions and he was taking notes.
Were you not taken aback?
And what?
Were you not surprised by this visit?
Not really. Not really. Because he's a leader and every leader is supposed to know what really happened. So him as being a leader, he was just being inquisitive, like any other leader would actually ask you questions.
So what did he promise to do after you told him the issues you were confronted with in South Africa?
According to me, he said that he has got a political party in South Africa, and he would take these issues maybe to authorities, and that's what he said. He said he can even raise this issue in parliament, and that's it. So there was nothing to do with money, nothing to do with anything else. To me, he looked like just a concerned person. He actually told me to say, you have members in South Africa. We have over 2 million members in South Africa, registered members of our church. So he said, you have got people there in South Africa. So what's happening? So he wanted to know. To me, it was more like a concerned person, not more like a politician, but it was more like a father, like a parent who wanted just to find out what happened.
How long have you known him for?
I don't even know him. I don't even have his number.
And you didn't find that strange?
No, not at all, because I talk to politicians almost every day.
Which politicians?
Even in this, from Malawi, from Zambia, from all over the world.
South Africa, who?
I talk to, in South Africa, so many politicians.
Like who?
No, not necessarily.
Why?
But they are human beings. I talk to many politicians.
So did you ever follow up on the promise that was made by Mr. Hendricks?
I have no contact details with him. I really don't have.
But why would you not take his contact details to follow up?
I think I lost it. That's a long time ago, and I normally change my numbers like then and then because of a lot of things going on. Yeah. So
did Chivambo not tell you that he will also be following up on your issues, Floyd?
We never spoke about my issues with Chivambo. It was simply prayer. He came for prayer, and I think it's coming again because he told me that I'm gonna come again. I enjoyed the prayers, and I'll come again.
Your stay in Malawi, I mean, what have you been up to now?
Right, so staying in Malawi has been good, apart from these legal battles that we've been battling with in the court. But our stay here has been amazing, and of course we have a lot of Malawians who would they look at me as an inspiration, and they would want me one time to be a leader. Unfortunately, it's one of my principles. All right, maybe I'm still young, maybe in the future, but currently, I don't have that yet calling to think of presidency and whatsoever.
But would you run if you got that calling?
If God would say that, trust you me, I would, and I would win because I'm addicted in winning.
Okay, so if you're saying there was a target on your life and you're being threatened, why is it that you cannot tell us how you left the country?
No, but I've not.
But you're in Malawi, you're protected, nothing will happen. Why can't you tell us?
I have told you that I'm not going to say it.
Why?
Because I can't. Just I can't say it.
So you see that's an issue as well, that's a problem.
Even if it's a problem, it's fine. As long as I am safe and I'm protected, there will be a moment at a time when I will tell my story. Because at this point in time, my story has not been told.
So you're saying undermining the rule of law and violating your bail conditions? It's business as usual.
Like,
So you're not going to tell us how you left the country?
No, let's talk about what made me leave the country.
No, we've already established that.
No,
but there's that question you've never answered.
Does that bother you?
No, it doesn't
does that
bother me.
just gives you like bother to say that it's bad?
Mike,
do you think it was the right thing I was going through?
what I'm saying is you're entitled to being represented and for you to lay a charge and for you to expose all these alleged corrupt senior officials like you just did. You told us what they did, how they tried to extort you and victimize you. You've came clean. You've told us about your journey in South Africa. You drew a timeline still coming to Malawi. But you're refusing to answer this question as to how you left the country. For me, that's concerning. It means that you're not being transparent.
I have not refused it. I have not refused it. I have said I'm going to explain it at my own time. And that's not refusing. If somebody says I'll go tomorrow, it's not saying they want to go, but they're just telling you the time they will. At this point in time, we have got court cases that we've been answering in the courts. And I've told you to say, when everything is settled and done, we will come out and explain exactly what really happened.
And when will that be?
I've just answered you right now.
Are you going to give us an interview again when that happens?
Yeah, when that happens.
Yeah.
I'll have an interview.
All right. Prophet Shepard Bushiri, thank you very much for your time. That's, of course, Bushiri speaking to us here in Lilongwe, Malawi. Thank you very much.
So you could listen to for yourself. So Prophet Bushiri explained the beginning, the genesis. He didn't start with Prophet Bushiri. He started the people, they were going to his members, the rich people among his people, soliciting funds from them, collecting funds for them, from them, that they will be arrested if they don't do this, if they don't do this. Gradually like that, they started targeting Prophet Shepard Bushiri. And apart from Prophet Shepard Bushiri being targeted, you see, if you listen to the all evidence, and Prophet Bushiri have said this over and over and over again, this is not the first time, this is not the second time Prophet Bushiri made interview and stayed the same claim. And if you listen closely with the other videos I've posted concerning this issue, most of those things that Prophet Bushiri went through, his meeting with police officers, his report, they have evidence of those things before the people even start chasing after him. He had ministry with the director of intelligence. He had a lot of meeting with all those things were going. And the surprising thing is that those people behind those people, they were not saying anything to those people. They are not being arrested. They are not being chased. I don't know what really transpired, because even the minister himself that was at the meeting with Prophet Shepard Bushiri couldn't do anything about it. I was surprised that they couldn't stop that person from doing that. I don't know what kind of power the person had that the minister, the director of intelligence could not do anything about it. This is alarming. If somebody cannot be called to order after all this process has gone through, all this report and all this filing from Prophet Shepard Bushiri, and everything is happening, and those people cannot be called to order, those corrupt officials, it is alarming. It is serious for democracy. It is serious for democracy, and it pains me a lot when I see and imagine how many people have gone through that. How many rich people that have gone to South Africa and make name for themselves have been a victim of this. It's appalling. Though there was a Nigerian pastor Omoto. I don't know what he did. He was in prison for 8 years before they called his case, without trial, without anything at the court, without even calling him for trials. He was just put in prison after 8 years before he went to court and court declaring innocent. He has lost his family, he has lost his ministry, he has lost everything. This is alarming. If corrupt ministers and police officers cannot be handled, then it is a worry for the nation of South Africa. Honestly. So thank you for watching this video. Make sure you subscribe, like, share, and comment.